我们敬礼传承祖师。
Homage to the lineage gurus.
了明和尚。
Homage to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming.
敬礼萨迦正空上师。
Homage to Master Sakya Zeng Kong.
16世大宝法卡玛巴。
Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubdan Dorji.
我们敬礼
Homage to the three jewels of the altar.
敬礼
And homage
今天入魔的主尊
to the main deity of Homa today,
白衣大士。
Chintamani Avalokiteswara, the white robe Avalokiteswara Bodhisattva with wish fulfilling money jewel.
安真感受
Sumo,
洗涤
Tansen Katso, Tutan Siddhi,
教授师
all Dharma masters,
法师
Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet.
大家午安，大家好。
Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do?
你好，大家好。愛してる。
I stay.
シャランヘ。オラアミコ。ケケロムチョ。すごい。一番。気持ちいい。準備。やび。ブリンブリン。こんにちは。现在呢，先通知大家，
First, I would like to announce
下个礼拜天
for next Sunday,
是6月6号，
June 6th,
6月6号下午3点 PM，
June 6th, Sunday at 3 p.m.
我们在彩虹雷藏寺会
at the
做
Rainbow Temple in North Bend,
观
Washington.
世音菩萨
We will perform the hiking Guan Yin Bodhisattva Homa fire offering
高
ceremony.
王观世音菩萨。我个人啊，
And for the hiking Guan Yin, for myself,
在我26岁的时候，
when I was 26 years old,
那么义房宫的住持就叫
the abbot of the Jade Emperor Temple by the Dharma name Si Huilin,
经典
he gave me a sutra,
就是高王
and the sutra was the hiking Guan Yin Sutra. 高王观世音经 or 高王观世音真经. He gave me a sutra called the Hiking Guan Yin Sutra.
就开始持诵这一本经典。
And when I got home, I started to chant the sutra when I was 26.
一直念到现在。
So ever since, I've been chanting that sutra until now. I never stopped.
每一天都诵。那么高王观世音经里面第一句开始，
And
高王
the
观
first
世音菩
statement
萨
in the Hiking Guan Yin Sutra is Gao Wang Guan Si Yin
就是
Bodhisattva.
要念，就是要
And next
做
Sunday,
高王
we will
观世音
perform the Hiking Guan Si Yin Bodhisattva
的护摩。
or Hiking Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva.
这个源远流长源远。
So the affinity and the origin was far and deep. So hiking Kuan Yin Bodhisattva and True Buddha School have a very deep and profound affinity. So this Bodhisattva belongs to the Avalokitesvara system. And the crown that he's wearing is very different. It's the crown of the past 7 Buddhas. So the past 7 Buddhas and the future 1,000 Buddhas of the Bhadrakalpa. So at the end of the sutra is the karma eradication mantra of the 7 Buddhas. So this Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, the first time I saw the statue of the hiking Kuan Yin was at the San Yi in Taiwan. There were many Buddhist shops there, and there was a statue of the hiking Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, extremely majestic and dignified, very magnificent. I especially admired the phrase, "can eradicate the suffering of birth and death." There's no suffering at birth and no suffering at death. That death would be the best. Because typically we forget about the suffering of birth and death. We forgot about the suffering of birth because we still could not remember. So we have forgotten about the suffering of birth. But it's difficult to forget the suffering of death or moments before death. It's difficult to forget the suffering of moments before death. But inside the sutra, when I saw that it can eradicate the suffering of birth and death, so I thought I had to chant the sutra, because the suffering of death is extreme. The suffering of moments before death, of dying. And because it can eradicate the suffering of birth and death, we have to chant it. And then it can also eliminate all kinds of harms. If someone wants to harm you, because between people, frankly speaking, it's very difficult to get along. To be able to become your soulmate or best friend. We often say that we know many people all over the world, but how many of them you can be heart to heart, that you can place your heart at that person's? How many of them do you have? It's difficult. We can have many acquaintances, but true friends or soulmates are extremely difficult. Most people harm each other. You harm me or I harm you, and they don't get along. But the hiking Kuan Yin did say that it can eradicate all kinds of poisons and harms. All of harms and hurts can be eradicated. So just based on these two statements, I've been chanting it to my best, to my utmost. So, but in reality, in this life, although I encounter lots of adversities and difficulties, but I still pass them through with safety, that nobody could harm me. True. That is the real case, and I didn't lose anything. So the hiking Kuan Yin Sutra and hiking Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, you want to create connection with him, and you want to often chant his sutra. And next Sunday, it'll be the Homa of this hiking Avalokitesvara or hiking Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. I don't wish to tell everybody to become primary supplicants every time, but by hearing so many benefits and you don't become primary supplicants, that would be a regret of a lifetime. Because if you have affinity with him, he would help you to eradicate all harms and hurts and to eradicate the suffering of life and death. So it truly is worth it. And today we perform the Chintamani Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. The white robe Avalokitesvara with blissful filling Mani Jewel. And his mudra is the lotus mudra. And above his head, or the head, it's a hair made like a lotus. And her hand is holding the wish-fulfilling jewel, and the other hand is the wish-bestowing mudra. So this Avalokitesvara is to fulfill the wishes of people. That's why it is termed the wish-fulfilling jewel. And you form this mudra, the lotus mudra. It looks like a lotus that opens, and you visualize she's right in front of you, wearing white robe, and one of her hands holding the Mani Jewel, the other hand is the wish fulfilling. And the Mani Jewel is on your palms. And your wish will appear from the lotus mudra of your palms. Purification, enrichment, magnetization, and subjugation. So whatever you wish for will appear inside your palms. And by performing her practice, it is said that it would give response within 1 month. So fast in 1 month, that's quite shocking. And her mantra,
嘎拉法多，嘎拉法多，嘎和法多，拉嘎法多，拉嘎法多，Om，节制，节制，节制，说哈。这白衣大师的神咒，白衣大师如意宝珠的神咒。
That's the heart mantra or divine mantra of the white robe, wish fulfilling jewel. And the white robe Kuan Yin mantra. Namo, the great compassion Avalokitesvara who saves suffering and is immediately responsive. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha, and Namo saving the suffering Avalokitesvara. Tan Sudo Anja Lufato, Jalufato, Jahufato, Lojafato, Lojafato Sopo. The celestial deities, the earth deities of protecting from suffering, guarding the body, all calamities transform into dust. Namo Mahaprasna Paramita. When I still did not know anything, I also chanted this white robe Kuan Yin mantra for a long time. So at her crown there's a lotus hairdo that looks like a lotus, and wears white celestial garments, and the right hand is holding the money jewel and the left hand is in the wish fulfilling mudra. And this deity came from the body cultivation venue, one syllable crown chakra sutra. And the Chintamani tantric practice is, if you practice it for 1 month, then you would gain riches and nobility. Wow, 1 month, that's really fast. Did anybody ever practice it? And you get lots of riches and nobility. Wow, 1 month is fast. May is gone. Very fast. In a flash, it'll be June. Another 4 weeks. Another 1 month. You would obtain prosperity and great fortunes. How come the primary supplicants are not many today? I think our disciples are practicing purity. Talking about money and prosperity, they don't want it. So you're all high adepts with high realms of spiritual cultivation. So spiritual cultivators don't necessarily request wealth and lots of riches, so they just come and go according to the destiny. My gurus told me that when I get into the society, I should never open my mouth and set a price or ask for money. So I don't have much all my life, and I never borrow, or I am not in debt. And because I never ask for money, people give money automatically. So I don't lack anything either in this life. My birthday
这个June 27
is on June 27th.
农历是 May 18.
It's the 18th of the 5th lunar month, and this year it happened to be on the same day.
这一生只能够碰到2次。
That in all my life it can only happen twice.
在今年的时候，
Very interesting. This year,
农历跟阳历
the lunar calendar and the Gregorian calendar are on the same
我
day
亲就问我，
for my birthday this year.
女儿问我，
So my daughter, Fo Qing, asked,
爸爸需要什么？
"What do you need
买给你，
for your birthday?"
还要买给
On your birthday,
你，需要什么？
she's going to buy it for
我想，
buy it for me. And I was
我这
thinking,
句话说，哎，爸爸，
she asked me, "Dad, what do you need? I will buy it for you."
佛亲跟我讲，
Hu Qing told me,
这个我在那边想了好久，
and I thought about it for a long time.
真的想了半天，
I really thought about it a long while.
我需要什么？
What is it that I need?
结果我居然知
And
道吗？
do you know,
居然想不出我
I
需要
could
什么。
not think of what I need.
想了半天，我没有办法回答。我只好
So
回答一句
I couldn't give the answer after thinking about it a long
你老
time.
爸
So I give her, "Your dad does not need anything."
真的什么都不需要啊。
Really, I don't need anything.
我还跟他讲了一句话：
And I also told her,
我什么都有，
"I have everything.
我还需要什么？
What is it that I need?"
真的什么都有，
Really,
需要什么？我
I have everything. I don't need anything. I don't lack anything.
所以一个人啊，当你什么都不需要的时候啊，
When a person does not need anything
活得
anymore,
很清闲，
then you live
活得很快乐，
very light and easy, happily,
休息
with gratitude, and practicing every day. That's about it.
再来呢，
And then,
这个等到有一天要归天的时候，
when one day it's time to return to heavens, I would still be very happy.
大概就是这样子，
That's probably it.
什么都不需要。
Otherwise, in this life, I don't need anything.
这个如意宝珠，你们需要的
The wish fulfilling jewel. If you need
求
it,
它，
you can pray to her and practice it the best you can.
在还没有说法之前，
Before to the Dharma teaching,
我捡来
let me share a joke. I pick up an Aladdin
愿
lamp
在我死之前，
and I wish that before death I would be able to find a girlfriend.
结果呢，
And the result,
到了永生。
I got an eternal life.
死之前，
Before death,
这个小宝到小明家去玩，
Xiao Bao went to Xiao Ming's
小宝突然
house
想上厕
to
所，
play, and Xiao Bao wanted to use the bathroom and asked Xiao Ming,
借我一用，
"Can I borrow your bathroom for a
借
bit?"
走了，
And Xiao Ming said,
家
"No,
就没有厕所。
because if you borrow my bathroom, then we have no bathroom."
这个笑话就是笑话。
It's a joke.
在泰国的餐馆工作，
Working at the Thai
老板
restaurant,
要求每次
the
开门的
boss
时候
asks
要
that
双手
when you open the door, you have to join your palms and say Sawadika.
有次有客人来，
And one time there's a customer coming in, and I opened the door and joined my palms,
讲什么？
and I blanked out,
脑袋一热
forgot to say what to say. So instead I said Amitabh.
念佛要紧啊！
It's important to chant the Buddha.
现在进行你问我答。
Now we'll do the question and answer.
莲花
From Malaysia,
贤
Lianhua Zi Xian.
敬礼师佛，十人金刚
Homage to the Guru Buddha. Kalachakra has many extraordinary practices. Some fellow disciples said that Kalachakra belongs to the Buddha division.
能否以十人金刚为护法？
So may a sadhaka practice Kalachakra as a protector? If Kalachakra is a root protector
变法，
and he is a manifestation of Sakyamuni Buddha,
释迦牟尼佛为本尊，
then may the practitioner have Sakyamuni Buddha as his
金
yidam?
刚明王都可以做护法。
Is it the case that all Vajra protectors can be one's
你问
protector?
我答，其实他问的问题就是
You ask and I answer. Actually, he already answered his own question.
十人金刚有很多特别的修持大法，
Kalachakra has many extraordinary practices. Some fellow disciples said Kalachakra belongs to the Buddha division.
能否以十人
So
金刚
may a practitioner practice Kalachakra as a
如果以十人金刚
protector?
为根本护法，
If Kalachakra is a root protector and he's a manifestation of Sakyamuni Buddha,
释迦牟尼佛
then
为本尊，
may he have Sakyamuni Buddha as his yidam?
明王都可以
Is it the case that all Vajra protectors can be one's protector?
这个回答很简单，
The answer is very simple.
护法跟本尊是相关联的。
Protector and yidam are interrelated.
释迦牟尼佛
If your yidam is Shakyamuni Buddha
护法呢，
and your protector can be Kalachakra, that would be fine.
当
Because we know
三法会的时候， 释迦牟尼佛
at
一
the
面在
Ling
山
San ceremony,
一面放生到了南
Sakyamuni Buddha was giving Dharma teaching there, but at the same time he also manifests himself at the South India,
米具塔，
at the Jixiang Mijita,
显化了十人金刚，
and transformed
向叶贤国王
Kalachakra and give Dharma teaching to
那十人金
the
刚
king Yi Xian.
是释迦牟尼佛本身所化，
So Kalachakra was emanated by
本身
Sakyamuni
释迦
Buddha.
牟尼佛
So the yidam, Sakyamuni Buddha,
当然是
and protector as Kalachakra as protector, of course, that would be interrelated.
然后每尊金刚明王可以做护法吗？
So
是不是每
Does
尊金刚
each
明王
Vajra protectors and Vidya Rajas can be protectors?
我们一
Yes.
般来讲，悟佛化为悟
Generally, we say that the 5 Dhyani Buddhas
法明
transform
王
or emanated the 5 Herukas. Then the 8 Vidya Rajas or wisdom kings
化身为
were emanated by the 8 great
所以我在
bodhisattvas.
彩虹结藏时的
So at the Rainbow
大
Temple,
金刚明王殿，
when I went to the
大威德金刚，
Heruka and Vidyaraja Hall, I paid homage to Yamantaka. I paid homage to the 5 Herukas and to the 8 Vidyarajas, and homage to all the protectors and devas, devis. That's what I chanted when I visit the Heruka Hall. So the 8 great Bodhisattvas has the 8 Vidyarajas, and the 5 Dhyani Buddhas have the 5 Herukas, or emanated or transformed into the 5 Herukas, and the 8 great Bodhisattvas into the 8 Vidyarajas, or wisdom kings. So each of the Vidyaraja and Herukas can be a protector. First question. Second question. In the practice of white bones visualization, should we practice it until we have no more biological reaction nor erection towards opposite sex to be considered successful? I found that this white bones visualization is to divert my sexual attraction to the white bones, but I won't feel disgusted by beauties. Would this be enough? Or should I reach a point that I feel loathsome in order to succeed? For us who are still cultivating the preliminaries, is this the only way to counter sexual attraction? That we cannot practice the other kinds of methods in Tantrayana, which is to utilize desire to cultivate spiritually? Are you clear about the question? About his questions? You understand, right? So what he meant was that he wanted to use the white bone visualization to transform. When he encounters a beautiful lady, he treats her as white bones. So not seeing the flesh, but only white bones or skeletons. So the sexual attraction would lessen. And the problem is, you visualize the beautiful lady to be a skeleton, and the skeleton develop flesh and blood. So see, Taiwanese said, it's white and soft and smooth and silky. Even heroes cannot resist the temptation of beauties. And that is the case. How do other people pass this temptation? In reality, it is extremely difficult. And for Grandmaster, strangely, now I have trained to a level, myself personally, I am able even when together with the beautiful lady, I can close my eyes and not looking.
也能够
And I'm also able
持咒，
to chant
也能
mantra
够念经。
and chant sutra.
我能够持咒，也能念经，
So I can chant mantra, chant sutra.
而且我还
And moreover, I'm also
美人堂
able,
前
in front of a beautiful lady, I can do my Dharma practice.
我还能够修法，
I can do my Dharma practice.
而且不动声色。
And unaffected.
我也搞不清楚我是怎么修的。
So I don't know how I practiced it.
到现在为
So
止
up till now,
我本人就是我讲过了，我是无漏真，无漏真，
and I've said that I am the non-leaking
我就开
uh,
就已经就无漏。
yogi. And starting in my 40s, I stopped leaking.
有漏戒动。如果
In the sutras, it's mentioned that if you are leaking, you're leaking the white body, then you would have downfall. You would fall into hells.
有漏，
Look at the lamas. How many of them are leaking?
有的是
They bear children.
生
Even
的孩子。
the great Rinpoches,
有漏才会生孩子。
they have children because they are leaking. Because if they don't leak, they will not have children.
孤阴也不生啊。
So you will not bear children if you strengthen your yang or
为什么会
yin.
生孩子？
Why would they have children? Because you are leaking. Because they are
大活
leaking.
佛有好几个大活佛，
Even the great Rinpoches
随便举一举，
in the modern day, many of them,
他们都是有漏。
it's easy to find
师
them.
尊修道
They're all leaking.
根本就
But Grandmaster never leaks.
现在啊变成想漏都漏不了。
And now I'm at the stage that even if I want to leak, I cannot. Because non-leaking.
怎么修的？
How did I practice? Naturally.
我看到美女，我也不会说
When I see a beautiful lady,
把她看成
I
白
will not
把她看成这个前身出来
disdain her or treat her as a skeleton or rotten flesh.
这样子，把它看成白骨了，看成
I wouldn't
全身
do.
那个虫在爬或怎么样子。
Or having
当然
bugs crawling all over her. I don't do that anymore. But of course, in the beginning, I transformed. But that later on, I
变成没
don't
有
need to. I have no
长得
specific
也是一样，
reaction. Doesn't matter how beautiful they are.
表面上很好看，
Women
穿起衣服来，
sometimes look beautiful
贵的衣服，
on the surface, and some wearing noble garments or with a beautiful figure and slim and
一定好。
petite. They look nice, but they are not necessarily nice,
身材好，
not necessarily good. Good figure,
长得，
fair and white skin, smooth and silky,
但是你知道，
looks like a fairy goddess, but do you know they're still dirty.
我这个人嘛，我的这个，我的
I myself,
有
my
一个地方
body,
最敏感，
there's one
最敏感的
place
地方就是我的鼻子，
that's very
嗅觉
sensitive,
非常好
and that's my olfactory sense. My olfactory sense is very
你是
acute.
很漂亮，但是我
And
嗅
beautiful lady, but But with the smell, oh no, oh no.
真的就没有欲望了。
Then this desire is gone.
所以我觉得是这样子的。以贪的修行方法。
The spiritual cultivation of utilizing desire to control the desire, that's a dual body consort practice. Like he said, you cannot practice that. And you practice it until eventually you become numb. Nothing. That's for me. But how about other people? White bone visualization. Or visualization of a rotten body. That's all for diversion. That's fine. And Grandmaster's smell sense is very sensitive. If a woman is not clean, I can sense it. I can smell it. And I have no more desire. So this method is right. You just divert your attention. But not necessarily, because there are a lot of men that's cornies. But I don't think so. I think women, many women pigs. We cannot say pigs, but we can say hogs. So not only the men are hornies, but women too. They have desire. Their desire is toward bliss of a moment, but then they suffer for a long time. It's a joke. A boss had a relationship with the female co-worker and got pregnant. And then the woman asked, so how do I notify? And then you should send me a postcard. And you can just say, the meat noodle. And then I would give the acrimony. And then one day he got a postcard from a woman from Taipei. He was unaffected, and the postcard, when he read it, he fainted, and the wife got him to the emergency. And the doctors told the wife, your husband didn't have any heart problems. How come he fainted and could not stand? I don't know. He just read something on the postcard. And the doctor read. So the meat noodle have 4 bowls, 2 with sausages and 2 without. So be careful. Just a joy of a moment equals suffering, eternal misery. And Nehua Zixian from Malaysia asked the 3rd question. Can a practitioner have tattoos on their bodies before taking refuge? I had some tattoo. Now I want to make it into something related to Tantric Buddhism, such as mantra wheels. Would this be disrespectful? If I change it into a Vajra scepter, Vajra dagger, will they repress me? Will it affect my faith? Sure, tattoos. You can take refuge. Don't worry. If you were part of the gang in Taiwan, if you get in jail, the prisoners there would give you tattoo. A dragon, a phoenix, on the feet, body, anywhere. So brothers, brotherhood. But nowadays, tattoos is a form of art. So across Vajra scepter, Vajra dagger, mantra wheel, tattooed on the bodies, that's fine. They're all fine. If you want to have tattoos, go ahead. Because it's a kind of art, in my opinion. It's just an ornament to the body. It doesn't symbolize anything. Or your own girlfriend, your loved one, you tattoo their names on your body, it's fine. Will not affect spiritual cultivation. It doesn't matter. And like Grandmaster, Buddhist, like when we made the Bodhisattva laity vows, we had this incense marks, 3 of them here. When I made the Bodhisattva vow in the Pisanyen temple in Chaotun, I had this 3 incense mark, and it stayed until now. I was in my 20s then. It did not disappear. It's a kind of memory of receiving the Bodhisattva vow. Nostalgia. Question by Henry Ongkor from Singapore. Beloved Grandmaster, thanks for transmitting to Buddha Tantric Dharma. I am currently chanting the 100-syllable mantra, the short version, and dedicate the merits to my karmic creditors, both physicals and formless, and my attached spirits. After chanting, my body feels light and full, but sometimes I feel there's someone chasing after me and make me afraid. I feel that bad things are after me for no reasons at all. Why do I feel this way? Is it because I haven't chanted enough 100-syllable mantra? That's his question, first question. So chanting 100-syllable mantra and dedicating the merits to karmic creditors, sure, that's correct. And you feel that someone's chasing after me and made me afraid? What are you afraid of? No need to be afraid. As a spiritual cultivator, there's nothing they should not be afraid of anything. Last night, when I was sleeping at near daybreak, as I was sleeping, I heard a voice of a woman shouting, crying. Her voice very feminine, and help me, save me, help me, save me. And after I heard it, I told her, okay, at night I will bardo deliver you. It happened this morning. She shouted, cried right in my ears. Nobody is around. I heard her crying out for help. I was all by myself in my bedroom. Nobody. Crying, help me. And her voice was so feminine and attractive. So of course I have to help her. And by to deliver her and create a good affinity, that's good. Well, someone's chasing after you, it's fine. Then you dedicate the marriage to him too. You should understand there's nothing to be afraid of. I encounter such things a lot. This knocks and that bangs and the whole house. There's sounds all over the house. Even when I see ghosts, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Even encountering ghosts. And they extended their tongues really long, and I pulled it. We can make soup of the ghost's tongue, and the ghost was afraid and ran away. No need to be scared. I'm most scared of human beings, and I'm not afraid of ghosts. Because I was just walking, and all of a sudden someone showed up, and it just surprised me. But I'm not afraid of ghosts. No need to be afraid. If someone's chasing after you, perhaps is asking something from you, you ask him or her, "What's up? May I help you?"
May I help you?
May I help you? Right? What can I help you with? Don't be afraid. Especially if it's a beautiful lady chasing after me. Then chant more the 100 syllable mantra. From Malaysia, Lianhua Xiang Yi. My family clan runs a cemetery business. The questions are, if a lay practitioner borrows money from a Sangha member and doesn't want to pay it back, will he suffer its retribution and bring bad luck upon himself? Yes. A lay practitioner borrows money from a Sangha member and doesn't pay back. You know, this transgression is very heavy. Or a laity takes a Sangha member's belongings, like their clothes or shoes or anything, and take them away. That's very heavy transgression. There would be karma, retribution, karmic retribution. You would have to pay back a lot. The same thing for ordained monks and nuns. 1 grain of rice from the benefactor is as big as Mount Meru. If you don't cultivate spiritually, it's as if your hair are in bondage. A grain of rice from a benefactor is as big as Mount Meru. If you don't cultivate spiritually, your hairs are all in handcuffs or in bondage. all the rice and meals that you eat are donated by the supporters. You don't produce them yourself. So if you don't cultivate spiritually, then your hairs would be in handcuffs. It's the same. You have to suffer its retribution. So if someone make offering to you, you don't cultivate spiritually, you don't return to them, you don't bestow fortune to them, and you don't practice yourself, then in the future, you would have handcuffs all over your body. You would become the horse, the cows, to repay in the future. So it doesn't want to pay back money borrowed from Sangha member. That would be horrible. Definitely have to suffer the karma. If you borrow money, you definitely have to return. That's in the precepts. It's in the precepts, all this. An ordained person accepts offerings from sentient beings is because they earn it by performing ceremonies big or small. But if they spend the money on ladies, but not his parents or family, is it okay? Because some ordained person wants to invite ladies for dinner or picks up the bills, then the fellow disciples are so scared and didn't want it. We often encounter this dilemma. Of course, Grandmaster is different. Grandmaster is Buddha. It's the Vajra of great fortune. Grandmaster bestows upon sentient beings this advice: wish you stay in samsara to turn the great Dharma wheel. So you calculate it. If someone invite a Sangha member for dinner, that's an offering. If a Sangha member invites a lady for dinner, that's bestowing fortune. Like I am a monk, I'm an ordained person, and I invite just lay practitioners for meals, that's bestowing fortunes upon them. So it's mutual, and you need to calculate them, and who is owing whom. You have to calculate it clearly. So if an ordained person uses his money on ladies, then the ladies should cherish and appreciate such fortune even more, and cultivate spiritually and dedicate the merits to all sentient beings. That would be proper. That's asked by Lien Hoa Xiang Yi from Malaysia. Now we will expound on Lamde. Suchness verification. Suchness verification arises on the mind. The verse in quotes, the 8 noble path factors of suchness verification, end quote. The so-called noble is the 5 wisdoms, and the 8 factors are the cause to transform the 8 consciousness, as in the verse, purifying the 8 consciousness, to transform alaya vijnaya, storehouse consciousness, to become the mirror-like wisdom, to transform mula vijnana, base consciousness, to become the wisdom of equality, to transform mind consciousness, to become the wisdom of observation, to transform the 5 root consciousness, to become the wisdom of all accomplishment, to prove the renunciant as the Dharma realm wisdom. This is clear. The point here is to transform. We transform the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind which is the alaya, the consciousness,
很大的智慧，
to transform into the great
这
wisdom.
两个八正道支的正
The 8 noble path factors.
八支是它的因，
Noble is the 5 wisdom.
转化八
8
支
factors are the cause.
啊，眼耳
Transform the 8 consciousness for the eyes, ears, nose,
哎
tongue,
呀，就是
body, mind, and the root of the mind, which is
转化
alaya.
八支
That's for 8
转
consciousness.
化阿赖耶识为大圆净智，
So purifying the 8 consciousness is to transform alaya, vijnana, storehouse consciousness to become mirror-like wisdom, to transform mula, vijnana, base consciousness to become the wisdom of equality, to transform mind consciousness to become the wisdom of observation, and to transform the 5 root consciousness to become the wisdom of all accomplishment.
离开人间
To
的
prove the renunciant as the Dharma realm wisdom. So to renunciate the game and play of the human world is the Dharma realm wisdom. The verse in quotes to prove 2 fruits, end quote.
为空界
In the half ground, the wave of congealing the right attachment is the liberation door to emptiness, and the wave of congealing the left attachment is the liberation door of no vows. So, what are the liberation door to emptiness and the liberation door to no vows? And what is the half ground?
其中的半地
The half ground of the 12 and a half ground.
解脱门，
That's the liberation door to emptiness and the liberation door of no vows.
你们看了就知道
What's in the liberation path?
不愿解脱门，
Then you would know what
可以查得出来。
they are, the liberation door to emptiness and the liberation door of no vows. You can find it in the sutras. Find them in the sutras. 2 fruits. One is the liberation door to the emptiness, and the other one is the liberation door to no vows.
真如焰相现其一
At the former half ground of the ultimate 13 grounds, the suchness verification appears on the mind, as in the verse in quotes, the great earth joy, end quote.
本师圆满成
3,000 earth mother goddesses, etc. At 2 instances, the root guru and myself become Buddhas perfectly, to witness the perfect awakening, to manifest divine mighty power. At the first instance, it is called bliss. At the second instance, it is called joy. And the third instance, it is called pleasant. So when you attain fruitions, 3 phenomena happened.
地的欢喜地不一样，
This is different from the first ground called the ground of joy,
地叫欢喜，
the first ground of bodhisattvahood.
欢喜的心。但
It's
是你到了
where you would generate the mind of joy. It's different from this half ground of the 12 and a half ground,
活的一个刹那，
where you're about to attain Buddhahood,
说出第一
where
刹那叫做
in instances you would manifest
刹那叫做
the first one. The first instance is called bliss, the second instance joy, the third instance pleasant.
就是
They're all very happy.
喜欢，就是很欢喜，欢喜两个字在一起，但是因为
So bliss, joy, and happy.
地母等以其大喜之笑声
The blissful laughter of Earth Mother Goddess, etc., is referred as the movement of 6 characteristics.
激动等相当之
Uh,
波耶经所
For example, bubbling or rushing in the east and drowning in the west, or bubbling in the west and dissipating in the east, etc. Altogether 6 of them, and movements, extreme movements, and similar characteristics. It's just like stated in the Prajna Sutra. So when you're about to attain Buddhahood, there would be the 6 great trembles. So rushing in the east, dissipating in the west, rushing in the west, dissipating in the east, etc. Why don't you check the 6 great trembles? Sakyamuni Buddha often has this phenomena of the 6 great trembles. The characteristics are like stated in the Mahaprajna Sutra or Mahaprajna Sutra. So, Earth Mother, Goddess, etc. So it's not just you that's blissful. Right before attaining Buddhahood, all the Earth Mother Goddesses will appear and will speak loudly that you have become a Buddha. And in the sky, there would be 100,000 Dakinis that would tell you that you have attained realization. And on the Earth Mother Goddesses will appear and joyfully tell you. And also the 6 great trembles. The verse in quotes, ferocious noise at the devil's place, end quote. Say the divine transformation of suppressing Mara is like the sound of dangerously falling rocks, tsunami, and other ear-shocking sounds. It destroys the devil's brain, like the sound of cymbals, to subdue the Mara at night. Or it'll be explained during the part on incessant path. This incessant path, like the movie. So on the great earth, all the devils would be shaken. You have attained Buddhahood. Even the devils and the devils' palaces would tremble, and the Mara would be scared too. Even the Maras would be scared of you becoming a Buddha. Once you have attainment, all the Maras would be scared. And they would be trembled. The Mara's palace too would be trembling like the earthquake. The verse in quotes, at the place where the mudra is born, one sees the 3 realms, end quote. During Buddha Mother's puja of the 12th ground mother, 12th Earth Mother Goddess, amidst the light drops of the great purity proportion, there is no differences between all the Dharma of rebirth and nirvana, broad or narrow. They are all the same. The indiscriminate interest of seeing all the seeable and see all the Dharma of rebirth and nirvana is referred as the minor wisdom. So everything is all mixed. The purity proportion. When you reach the 12th ground, Earth Mother Goddess and Buddha Mother's puja of the 12th ground, at the place where the mudra is born, one sees the 3 realms. So amidst the light drops of the great purity proportion, there is no differences between all the Dharma of rebirth and nirvana, broad or narrow. They are all the same. It's about the yoga of one taste. Rebirth and nirvana are of one taste. Rebirth and nirvana are one taste. The indiscriminate interest of seeing all the seeable and see all the Dharma of rebirth and nirvana is referred as the minor wisdom. When you're about to become a Buddha, you would be able to see many things to be of one taste. Many things are one taste. To explain this one taste, it will take a long time. So no fragrant or foul, no good, no bad, no rebirth, no nirvana. Everything is one taste. That's this peace. At this time, the other differences of merits will arise on the mind. As in the verse, Dakinis gather from far. At this time, the inner Dakini gather from far would see the purity proportion at all the channels by the 10 fathers and mothers to gather at the central channels, the inner palace. And then you can accomplish the emanation of the Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Dharmakaya. When you attain the Buddhahood, that all the Dakinis will appear in the sky and all will tell you that you have attainment. You have attained the way. The outer Dakinis will appear in the sky and would tell you that you have attained fruition. And the inner Dakinis inside your body will gather too and tell you that you have attained the fruition. So the outer and inner Dakinis will all tell you that you have attainment. You have attained Buddhahood. So Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Dharmakaya, they're all of one taste too. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.